fire signs already. How wild. I'm just checking that everything's working. Bless, the lag isn't even bad either. Welcome everyone, whether you're able to watch live or after the fact. I am the Hermit Tarot. I haven't done that in these videos yet. But in today's live stream, we're looking at fire signs in the month of December. What can Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo expect in the month of December? Also, happy birthday to the Sagittariuses that already experienced a birthday. And thank you so much for joining, sweet soul. I just saw your comment pop up. Hi, how are you? I'm just about to start with Aries. So I'll put that in the chat just in case anybody joins after. And let's have a look at what Aries can expect. So this is intended for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, or those that have strong Aries placements. You're welcome to cross-watch or join in just to say hello. I'm just going to be focusing on Aries energy though. Spirit, please tune me into Aries. What can Aries expect in the month of December? Wow, happy birthday for last week. I'm glad you're doing well. I hope you're still enjoying your special day in that, still feeling the joy from your birthday. It's a crazy time of the year, so hopefully you got to make it special and just focus on yourself in the best of ways. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit all over the place this morning. I hope to start this a little bit earlier, but I'm glad we're actually here. Let's not jinx that. Last month we didn't get the chance to finish, so at least we're here and we're finishing all the predictions. All right, Spirit, what can Aries expect in the month of December? Okay. Oh, wow. At the back of the deck is the Angel's Trumpet card, which in this deck is the Death card. It also has the number 46. We've got Pluto and Mars. Let's have a look here though. Kava Kava, which is the community card, number 48. Again Pluto, and again, well actually this is the moon. We had the moon a lot yesterday. That's why I was like, we're seeing it again, but this is the first time for today. We've got Mercury and Uranus on this energy, and it is the enchantment card. It comes out a lot. I think that's just the collective energy coming in. For you, it's in reverse. It is also the rhodiola card and number 37. So those numbers could be significant in some way. For you, Aries, December feels like a month where it's going against what you kind of expect, because there is a restlessness in your energy that makes me think you're looking for outlets and you're looking for you're looking for the universe's guidance, because you're not accepting guidance from other people. You want to be close, but you want to be apart. Like there's a lot of mixed feelings here, mixed energy, and your energy feels a little kind of like how I felt this morning, a little bit all over the place. With that being said, it's not supposed to be your main theme. What is supposed to happen in December is you end up getting a lot of excuses to slow down and to not get too carried away, to not feel like you have to do as much as you thought you did. So this month evolves to allow you some time to relax a little bit, but I don't know if you will be able to relax. You're supposed to feel more relaxed. You're supposed to feel like there's not as much responsibility. There's not as much work to do. So what I'm kind of seeing is that energetically, this might be the right thing for you, but you're doubting that. You're going, have I actually done everything? Is this actually a sign that I can slow down and smell the roses? Or is there some sort of plot twist coming? Is this too good to be true type of thing? So I want to kind of get tarot just to pinpoint this a bit more and get a specific understanding of why I'm picking up on you in this energy. So let's have a look what tarot has to say. Spirit, what is happening in December for Aries? Let's do it this way. What is happening in December for Aries, Spirit? Okay, we have the Three of Swords reversed. We have the Magician card reversed. And we also have the Two of Swords reversed. At the back of the deck is the Queen of Cups reversed. Spirit, please tune me into Aries energy. Please help me offer Aries clear, honest messages about December. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, please come through clearly for me and the viewers to gain messages of clarity and insight about December. It's just feeling like a haze, like I'm having trouble getting through to look at what is actually happening. And I don't know if that's how you're going to end up feeling, like it's a little bit hazy and all over the place. We do have Neptune here, the Two of Swords reversed, Magician reversed. I'll show you these dice close up. So up the top is Leo in the reverse position. We also have the third house reversed over community, which to me makes a lot of sense. Neptune is here reversed on the Two of Swords. I think that some people might let you down this month because you're expecting more from them. You may have been expecting them to include you more. You may have thought like you were going to be a part of something with them, and instead they're kind of doing their own thing and you're having to do your own thing. There is what feels like a communication breakdown, like somebody's not telling you everything and keeping you in the plans, and that's making you feel very isolated. And this is actually making me think of my auntie who's an Aries, and I'm like, damn, I don't think I formally invited her to Christmas. So it's that kind of stuff. It's making me think of that. And you know, because of the year that you've had, we can see with the Death card that the end of the year stirs mixed feelings. And for you, with your ruler on here, Mars, you don't want to sit in those feelings for too long. You don't want to become a victim of those feelings, right? You're thinking to yourself, why is this even bothering me? It happened a while ago. But with the Queen of Cups reversed, because you have more time than you expected to be by yourself or to be a little bit more idle, you start to get this restlessness of and impulsiveness of like, ugh, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to process this. I thought I already have. So the end of the year is about realizing, goodness, I have more emotional processing to do than what I expected. And this is actually still bothering me, even though it happened before. And so therefore, with this sort of mixed undercurrent of emotional restlessness, if somebody doesn't keep you in the loop and let you know like, hey, this is what we're doing, or I would love for you to be there, it does get on your nerves. You're feeling more sensitive at the end of this year, and throughout the month of December, you're trying not to let it bother you. Like, look at this, you're really trying not to let it bother you because part of you wanted more time alone. With this Leo energy and this enchantment energy, you kind of wanted to be able to do your own thing. You kind of wanted to just sort of not have to worry about other people. You wanted to be a more self-focused, self-centered without the negative connotation the goal was to be able to just have your own thing going on. But once it kind of starts to transpire the way that it does, it almost feels like you were prepared to do your own thing, and then somebody gave you the impression of, hey, like, why don't you come and do this with us? And then next minute it falls through because of a lack of communication, and now you're having to do your own thing anyway, and that's making you feel jaded. You're going, ugh. Now, outside of that really oddly specific example, I think that in December what we're seeing is all of these little things start to add up. And not only is it getting under your skin, it's affecting you in your heart space, which is a very uncomfortable feeling. And you can kind of go through the wave of it, right? And try not to focus on it. But with the Two of Swords reversed and Neptune here, I want to say that you finish December feeling like you need to be much more direct. You feel like, oh, I've been soft for a bit too long. I need to really toughen up and be more clear about what I want. I need to be more direct. For some of you, you're even saying I need to be more assertive. But you're also saying that I can't rely on other people's plans because their wishy-washiness really led to me feeling disappointed. And I don't want to have to go through that. So you end the year with a strong sense of how you want to start next year, which is good because ultimately that's the energy that Aries should be in January. It's just unfortunate that it had to take this for you to start the year like that. Now, it's not all bad. In fact, I think with the Magician card reversed and the Three of Swords reversed, the best thing I can tell you is that most of the bad experiences, the hard experiences, the challenging experiences, the sort of unexpected side notes and, again, challenges have already happened. I don't see a lot of that happening in December. You're finishing this year just sort of processing it. It's not going to happen in December. It's already happened this year. And so it all kind of catches up to you in December. And other people's unresolved intentions or plans or directions is really obvious to you. You're realizing, like, goodness, they're really, I almost need to give them space because they don't know what they're doing. I want to learn from that and know what I'm doing. So you seem to focus in those last 2 weeks, like from Christmas to the new year, you're focusing more on what do I want to do in 2026? How do I want to start that year? So the good thing about this is you're not pretending anymore. Like December isn't about showing face and just sort of showing up in like what's the word? Like, you know, when you're masking in public. I like to see the Magician reversed in your energy because it means that you're being more honest about your thoughts. You're being short with your words and you're looking people in the eye and saying, you know, don't push me. I've said my answer. It was a 5-word answer, but, you know, that's enough. So I see you like exercising restraint so that you don't disturb your peace, but you are getting frustrated by other people's lack of communication and the way that they don't seem to be able to plan these things well when it comes to bringing people together. And that makes sense. You're a cardinal sign. You're the first sign in the zodiac. Like, you've got your fiery energy, but you've also got your sense of self that you constantly are redeveloping. So to feel like the people around you aren't in that energy or space at a busy time of the year, you're kind of going, wow, like, even if you're trying to be more open and flexible, there's a difference between that and just not having direction at all, which I think is what's happening around you and making you want, even more than anything, to be careful about relying on other people, and you're prioritizing more time alone. All right. Is there anything else you can tell them, Spirit? Before we move on, what else can you tell Aries about the month of December? What haven't we covered so far in general? I want to like figure out if we can get specific messages about family or friends. Okay. Is there anything else? Whoa. Wow. That's crazy. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We also have the Six of Wands down here. Those are the two cards that just flew off camera. And we have the Page of Pentacles at the back of the deck. Wow. That's really helpful to know, sweet soul. Thank you for sharing. I can see how Chiron would have some role to play in this. Absolutely. Chiron sometimes shows up too, so we'll just pay attention. They might show up at some point just to be like, hey, as an extra sign of confirmation. What else are we missing here? Wow, look at you showing up for yourself, Aries, on the Six of Wands. I do think that you're going to be finishing this year strong. We also have the 9th house over here. Yes. Uranus is over here as well. So let's talk about this first. Uranus is reversed and it's on top of the Knight of Pentacles. So I think over here, this is the kind of energy in December where it's about staying true to your intentions, staying true to what works for you. And that doesn't have to be in a stubborn way, but you know, other people will think it is. Other people will go, wow, you're being very stubborn and unforgiving right now. But you're being consistent, to play devil's advocate. You're being consistent. And I think with the Uranus card reversed, what's happening here is something that usually happens with this person in your life. They're usually like this. They usually get a little crazy over the holiday period. They usually aren't the best at making plans. They usually always have something pop up at the last minute. It's that kind of feeling where you're not surprised, but you are aware and you're staying true to what works for you instead of going, okay, I'll drop everything right now and I'll make my way there. You're going, well, hang on, our plan was to meet on Saturday and I have things to do today, so I can't see you on Saturday. Or I have things to do on that day, so I can't see you on Saturday. Anyway, I butchered that explanation, but you kind of just feel like you're not trying, you don't want to get caught up in other people's dysfunction is the best way that I can put it. Now that's because you've come a long way, Aries. Look at this energy, the World card. You're finishing this year strong with this strong sense of, I've leveled up, I'm still growing, you know, no one's perfect, but I have things going on that I want to celebrate, that I want to recognize, and I don't want other people to take that away from me. Whether it's a new job or finishing something really big that's taken years to do, even like finalizing a divorce, those sorts of things. The World card tells me that the people around you don't seem to be able to make time for you in the way that you want to make time for yourself. And while you may feel like people are recognizing some of your growth, you want to make sure that you're not failing to truly embrace the end of this big chapter and what it means to you in terms of how much you've been through, how much you've achieved, and how much you've overcome. You could be hitting a milestone at the end of this year, or you could be starting the new year with this strong feeling of like leveling up. Now, when the World card appears, it's not one part of our life that is leveling up. It's everything. Whatever we've been through, whatever we've achieved, it's only happened because all aspects of our lives have contributed to it. So sometimes for me, I used to read this card as like the graduation card, except it's, even if you're graduating school or finishing a degree or finishing a course, the time and the energy and the effort and the lessons that you've learned along the way are more than just theory and practical and education in the very structured sense. It's all the other lessons that come with it: discipline, managing time, working with the changing themes, and learning how to manage yourself so that you don't burn out, creating that proper life balance, and leveling up to the point where your interests change halfway through. It's all of that as well. So I do think that you don't want other people to steal your thunder. And that's what I'm kind of seeing over here. It feels like you're starting a new journey, and maybe you're already on that path. And so you want to celebrate this in December. So you're having to be very focused on that. And in fact, if you were umming and ahhing about, do I do that? Is that a bit selfish to do? What if other people have plans? Maybe they want me there. I think this is your sign to truly focus on you and to go ahead with the plans that you have for yourself. Only because whoever else is also relying or expecting you to be there, I think that might fall apart anyway. They can't be upset with you for not having themselves better organized. You know what I mean? And I'm probably really playing into your energy right now. And if you're cross-watching, I think you'd be pretty upset with hearing that message. But I just believe that it's in your best interest to focus on yourself in December. Make plans for yourself, celebrate yourself, appreciate what you've already achieved and how your life is improving. Because in December, there's a strong sign that 2026 is going to produce some sort of new chapter for you that's related to leveling up your money, focusing more on your health, and feeling like the way that you're investing your time is on your terms. Because whether you're choosing to invest your time to make more money or to have a better balance, there's a strong feeling here of, if you want to work less but still have the money that you need, that's coming together in 2026. And you want to be able to start the year in the right frame of mind. You don't want to feel like people are getting in your head and bringing you down and instigating their usual chaos and lack of organization. So do what you can to stay in that high vibrational energy of believing that you've got this. You're going to have a successful 2026. Your road is already made for you. All you have to do is keep following your plans and accepting the opportunities that come your way and redesigning your version of success in a way that matches who you are now. So that's what I'm seeing in general. Hi, sweet soul, welcome. You did not miss the Leo reading. We're actually doing Leo last today for some reason. It popped up that we're going to do Aries and Sagittarius first, and then we'll do Leo. So we're just jumping into career and work for Aries now. I think we did cover a little bit of it just before, but let's see. Spirit, what can you tell us about Aries' finances in December? Is there anything they really need to know? Ace of Swords, a new idea. See, I do feel like it's already happening. We have the Page of Cups, you're getting ahead of everybody else. Are we surprised? Oh, that's so Aries. You're getting ahead of everyone else. Everyone else is like, yeah, in 2026, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You're like, oh, I've been doing that. I'm already thinking of how this is going to play out in the second half of the year. So we have two aces down here and we have a page. All of these can represent new opportunities. Or in my case, I see the pages as a developing situation, developing feelings, developing interest, developing curiosity. With the Ace of Cups reversed, when it comes to your money, how you spend it, how you make it, and what you're aspiring to do with it, there is a strong feeling here of having a new idea and trying to figure out how to act on it while also feeling very excited about it and trying to find ways to make that idea successful. So I don't know if you're fully invested in it. You're not taking on a lot of risk here in December. But this idea is very consuming, sweet souls. Like, it's taking up most of your reading to the point where I can't actually see anything else. So let's look at your dice. We have the, I want to say South Node. Let me double check. Yeah, South Node symbol. We also have Virgo, and we have the 11th house reversed. So this idea is very consuming. It's actually a little bit distracting as well. When it comes to your money, you may be spending a lot more money on your interests and the things that kind of help distract you from those bigger themes that we saw, because it feels like this isn't a part of the big picture plan with Virgo reversed, the 11th house reversed, but this is helping you get your mind off of the past and some of your heavier feelings with the South Node here. Now, aside from the South Node representing your past and some heavier feelings, it also feels like this is about finishing the year with you being in control. And an interesting thing about the South Node, when you do Google it, like I've just done, it says that the South Node is also known as the dragon's tail. We're finishing the year of the snake, and we're about to start next year, the year of the horse. I feel like this is symbolic, sweet souls. Money is helping you tie up your loose ends so that you can head and heart focus on what you need to focus on. You're spending money and making money in a way that is getting your head in the game, helping you, curb your unhelpful distractions by giving you things to focus on helpfully, and also helping you fuel some of your ideas. I do see creativity here. I see a lot of balance with your money and even income and outgoing with your finances, because to me, the Six of Wands represents that exchange of energy. Financially, you are likely to spend more money on yourself than anything. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's what I'm seeing, which I love. You're the first sign that I've seen that happen for. I thought it was going to happen for Libra. Actually, I did think it happened for Libra as well. But yeah, I see a balance here between what you're spending and what you're making, and also being able to spend on things that make you feel good, that make you feel successful, and you have your outlets and you're investing in your interests. So it's kind of good news here financially. Is there anything else we need to focus on? Ace of Cups reversed, Spirit saying. We got to address the Ace of Cups reversed. So for you, look where it's sitting. Community reversed. These are the people who forgot to remind you that they changed the venue for Christmas, so you rock up to the wrong house. I think when it comes to money, you're not wasting your money on people. Really, the Ace of Cups reverse is about pouring into self, directing emotions and feelings and interest and sentimental gestures to self. I really don't think you're going to want to put too much money into other people this month. Someone may even be extending a gift to apologize for the way that they've acted. Look at this Page of Cups. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't a part of that group chat. I should have told you. I should have checked. Whatever's happening here, it's really about, again, head and heart, finishing this year strong. I don't see any concerns, so we might move on, sweet souls. Let's have a look at your love life now. What is happening for Aries when it comes to love in December? Spirit, what is happening for Aries when it comes to love in December? Okay, we have the sun. How beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, this is more kind of self-focused energy, but let's see what else comes out. What else can you tell us about the sun? It didn't flip over, so we'll keep shuffling. Not the sun, Spirit, just December. What is happening in December for Aries when it comes to love? Okay. Two of Wands. So lots of fire. Some Leo energy here. We did have some Leo energy in the chat as well. Five of Wands. The back of the deck is Aries with the Emperor. So we do have, yeah, Aries and Leo, lots of fire energy in your love life. Spirit, can you clarify this for Aries? Thank you. 11th house again showing up first. Oh, Mars energy. It feels right, actually. Mars on top of the Five of Wands feels very right. And we've got some Libra. Libra in like an undecided energy, an imbalanced feeling. Goodness, what is going on with your love life? It feels like December is about reevaluating progress, effort, energy, plans, interest. You guys may literally lose interest in somebody over the holiday period. In December, you might go, actually, it's not that deep. I don't actually like them that much. I'm not that interested in them. You might also be getting over someone in December, or you're just losing a sense of attachment to them. I do think with the Two of Wands reversed, even if you're in a relationship, you're feeling like you need to rethink the way that relationship is functioning because it's not working in a way that suits you. And to be honest, there's a lot of present mindset here. To start with the sun and to finish with the Emperor, like it is still about you here. We've started this reading talking about you, and we're finishing this reading talking about you. So at least, again, you're being consistent, Aries. People know what to expect. They shouldn't feel some type of way. They're gonna, say that you're being stubborn, but you're being consistent. We can see with the sun energy and the 11th house reversed, there's a part of you that's trying to not worry too much about the future. You're trying not to worry about being single or being in a relationship or having a situationship. You're making the most out of your experiences in December. And when it comes to love, you're trying to ensure that your needs are met in every way. So, whether that's sexually, emotionally, we are human beings. You're meeting your needs, but you're also being very aware of how people make you feel. And you're choosing not to get entangled or caught up on people who don't make you feel good. You're choosing to do things because you want to do it. And when it doesn't feel good anymore, you back out. And you're like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm going to go find my sunshine over here. This awareness and mindfulness is really keeping you grounded. It's helping you curb some of those lonely feelings that other people experience over the holidays. If you are separated from a partner or single or whatever, I don't see that for you. I don't see you feeling emotional about that. You're more emotional about the way that your platonic connections have pushed you to the curb. That's what you're caught up on. You're caught up on the fact that, your own flesh and blood couldn't keep you updated on important things. And I think that is what makes your love life more of an outlet. So with the Emperor card reversed, I do see you just keeping this area of your life positive, chaos-free, conflict-free. Is it easy? I can't believe I'm saying that with the Five of Wands in front of me, but literally, you thrive here. This is you unbothered. Other people would get this combination, Emperor reverse, Five of Wands upright, Mars, and they would feel like their whole world is ending. Cancer, for example. Whereas you feel like this is just another day in the office. Of course, people have opinions about my love life. Of course, people are projecting what they want onto me. Of course, people are still interested, even though I've told them, leave me alone. Of course, you know, this is happening and that is happening. But you're choosing to just sit strong in this energy. So with the Emperor reverse, let me clarify, you're not taking on too much responsibility, too many expectations. Like, this is exactly what we saw at the start of your reading. And this is why it's coming out at the end, because this is your love life that's kind of helping you get through it. It's likely you might have a holiday fling if that's what you're open to. It's likely that you might have somebody who's, you know, fulfilling a need, a personal need, but you're not taking them on as a responsibility. You're not letting them become another complication. And by the time December finishes, you still feel confident about your life is in your hands. It's all about you, and you get to start the year on your terms. So if you are in a relationship, you may need to revisit the direction of the connection before the holiday period takes over, before those last 2 weeks of December. You may need to look at your connection and go, okay, if you want to do what you want to do, that's fine, but this is what I'm going to do, and I'm sticking to that. So there's this strong feeling of like, I'm doing what I'm doing, you do what you do. Whether you're single, in a relationship, dating someone, that's the stance here. And it's your version of a compromise, because in your mind, everyone gets what they want out of that situation. But then that's where other people are like, what? Why would you do that? What's that about? And you're going, I'm just going to leave you guys to argue about it while I go over here and do what I want to do. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Aries. I do love this for you. I respect this for you. You're one of the only signs that's going to be able to do this. I've only seen this in, I think it was Libra's energy, and Libra's energy was not the same. If you've watched that reading, Libra had a lot more conflict going on. Whereas yours, Five of Wands, it's not a big deal. People will get over it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to last for long. It's not that serious, and it will not take away from your intentions, your desires, and what you know is best for you. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Aries. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all of your support. I'm going to sound like a little bit of a robot, but I want to say my spiel for you. As we part ways, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Let's have a look at Sagittarius now. Sagittarius, I remember you haven't always had the best year. You've had some tricky moments along the way. So let's see how you're finishing this year now. There's been some moments where you've really had to fight for your freedom. I'll just put this in the chat in case anybody joins later. So let's see what's happening in December. Spirit, what is happening for Sagittarius in December? Please tune me into Sagittarius's energy. Oh, here we go. We have Gochukola, which is the higher consciousness card. On that card is also the number 17, Mercury, and the moon. What is happening for Sagittarius? Palo Santo, which is the guardian card. We also have the number 55, more South Node energy, and Pluto. And then we have Rhodiola, 37 enchantment. We just had this card. Mercury and Uranus is on there as well. Sagittarius, you are different. I mean, I think all the signs are, let's be honest. But as a fire sign, you have a different feeling. And tuning into your energy always takes me for a turn. Like after I've channeled Aries or Leo, I usually end up coming into Sagittarius feeling very like I have to completely reset. So it's weird to do you in the middle like this. I think I'm going to have to like build up energy again for Leo. Your energy feels very slow in December, and it has a strong focus on, I want to say, the spiritual side of your sign, whether you resonate as being spiritual or not. There's a strong feeling like, look at this. This card is just overtaking your whole reading. There's a strong feeling of just being able to focus on your thoughts, trying to quiet your busy thoughts, trying to overcome some of your intrusive thinking, trying to really actively work on your mindset and your inner talk, how you choose to talk to yourself especially. And I actually think that talking therapy would be helpful. Now, we don't always have to pay for this. A powerful way of doing talking therapy is just by talking out loud to yourself, just to let it out. If you are feeling like your mind is busy or there are some racing thoughts that you need to get aligned and figure out what is actually happening here, just verbalizing it and saying it out loud like a conversation with yourself to help you figure out, okay, so that's where that's coming from. That's why that's still bothering me. I do see a lot of reflection in December, mindful reflection and unintentional reflection. Your soul and your spirit are really guiding you in December. They're taking the wheel, and your human vessel is just having to kind of go along for the ride. Your emotions are also on this roller coaster, and I think overall the point of this practice, as an unintentional practice and at times a conscious practice, the point of that reflective practice is to get to this point, to get to this stage before the end of the year where you feel ready, you feel like you've got this. Whatever happens next year, you've got this. And you feel informed. You know what is going on within yourself, and therefore whatever comes your way, you have a fair understanding of how you're going to react and of what you're going to want from that situation. So it could feel like you're like preparing yourself for a busier start of the year, or kind of getting back into the swing of things in 2026. But there's a lot of opportunity for you to just recalibrate, refresh. And I also want to say, with the Guardian card and enchantment over here, it's a strong feeling of you being able to make time for yourself in a helpful way. Because sometimes when we see the Rhodiola card, we're looking at fantasy. When it's upright, it's a strong feeling of like getting swept up in fantasies and feeling like something is too good to be true because it's not really real. It's either it's an illusion or it's a ideal version of reality. With that card reversed, I think you're just kind of imagining what your life is going to look like next year and enjoying where you're at now because you feel like a lot of things could change in the next 12 months, while trying not to get too caught up in the ideal sort of outcome. So this is you trying to stay grounded and also relying on yourself. I think someone who you look up to whether they're a parent, a mentor, a guardian, you may be seeing them in a different light in December. You may be hearing more about who they really are, their true story, their past, what they've been through. And I would argue that it's going to help you respect them more, but it's also making you feel like, geez, can't really rely on them. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of when you're younger and you learn things about your parents for the first time, or you learn things about the real world and what people are actually like, and you're like, whoa, I thought that person was a hero. Did they really do that? And for a moment, it's disheartening, right? But in the grand scheme of things, you're able to look at them and go, geez, you've been through so much more than I realize. And that does make you wonder more about yourself, because you've had a year and a half, Sagittarius. You've had so many things change and develop, and some beautiful experiences, some things you never thought could actually happen. It was crazy reading for you in the middle of the year. I was like, what is going on with you? I hope you're okay. And everybody was telling you what they wanted you to do to fix that personal situation, and you had to stand on 10 toes and go, it'll figure itself out, trust me. So I think that as this year ends, that's how other people are seeing you as well. They're actually going, okay, maybe you do know things. Maybe we should listen to you more. Maybe you are the right person to give yourself advice. So you might have somebody who's like your guardian parent or a really protective friend turn around and say like, hey, what happened earlier this year or what happened before, I'm sorry that I reacted that way. And it helps you understand more about them, but it gives you the props for that they failed to recognize earlier in your character. At the back of the deck is this psychic healing card, which really brought all of this home. I saw a glimpse of it when I placed your rhodiola card. The psychic healing card is also mugwort in this deck. We've got number 10, the moon, and Neptune as well. Now, we've had the moon before, but this Neptune energy really kind of ties into how you're trying to see the year ahead and the year that's been. There's a full cycle moment happening here where you're watching things come to an end, and you're actually more at peace than a lot of your loved ones. The people around you might still need to talk to you about things that have already happened, and you're going, okay, well, sure, but that was so long ago now, I haven't really thought about it again. So let's have a look at your tarot just to double check if there is anything I've missed in your general predictions portion. Spirit, what else can you tell us about Sagittarius right now? Well, not right now, it's still the 27th of November when I'm filming this, but what can Sagittarius expect in the month of December? Oh, look at that. King of Swords reversed. What can Sagittarius expect in the month of... We have the Emperor again. First time for you though. Oh, what a weird way to come out. Oh, the Sun. This is wild. And we have the 8 of Wands. All right, Spirit, let's get some dice out. What is happening for Sagittarius in December, please, Spirit? So you're not too... I think that the fire sign energy is probably a lot more calibrated than it was last time I read for you all. Because similar sort of themes, but with obviously your personal Sagittarius twist, but similar themes to Aries. We have down here the Neptune energy again. Up here is the 7th house on Guardian. And we also have Cancer on the Gochukola card. I'm just going to wipe my nose and let that energy kind of settle, because it came out in a really weird way. I was like, what? All of the cards. Let me just get a drink of my tea. So we're strongly seeing Cancer, Leo, and Aries energy, which could be significant. Overall, these are powerful themes of focusing on yourself, Sagittarius, of letting your energy flow, letting it kind of lead you, very similar to what I was saying before. Your spirit is leading you, your soul is leading you to be able to release tension, focus on what's making you happy, and get through anything that you don't want to do so that you can finish those tasks, so that you can show up in those uncomfortable situations without letting it really take the best from you. With the Eight of Wands, your December month is all about momentum and keeping that helpful flow of energy, making sure that you have your outlets that balance the things that take so much from you, so that when you're purging, you're creating more space to gain energy from the things that enrich your soul. I do see you being very creative. Like there's a strong feeling of creativity over here between Neptune, the Sun, and the Eight of Wands. Lots of creation and connecting to your inner child through your creativity. So doing things for the sake of enjoying it, not just because you want to produce something you're proud of, but because it also makes you happy. So it's a good month to get into those projects and hobbies and to really immerse yourself in, I would even argue, like include that in your reflective practices. I think that by being creative, you are reflecting, you are purging, you are staying connected to who you are and processing what has happened in a way that doesn't even feel like it's work, right? It just feels like it's making you smile more and keeping you happy. Now, I'm using happy as a general term, but I feel it in such a pure way. Like the word happy for you is pure happiness, like pure joy, a pure feeling of being content and at peace and present. So this is really beautiful in a month where, you know, there's so many things to overcome or think about. I really love this for you, and I think that you're having a really positive impact on the people around you without even meaning to. The people around you are getting to kind of get high off of your supply with this. Like you're fueling so much pure joy, pure energy. And if they get the chance to be a part of that in any way, even if they get to watch you paint with your headphones on and you're just in the zone, you know, doing your own thing, not at all interacting with them, it's infectiously positive and it has a really beautiful feeling of just high vibration around you. So over here with these two cards reversed, I do think that December is about trying to get some serious things done. These could be things that other people have told you they need done. Like, hey, Sagittarius, can you make sure you do this for me? It's like you don't want to do it, but you feel obligated to do it. And this is showing up because it's kind of reminding you that it doesn't all have to be so serious, so soul crushing. There's a lot more to gain as well. But I do think that someone around you has asked you, can you please do this for me in December? Can you make sure you do this? And it feels like you're almost like you owe them or something, like you've promised them. You don't really want to do it. You don't feel like it was the right choice to make, but it's because of who they are. And it's because, you know, other people are also showing up in some way. This feels like it's a family member because we have Cancer here. It could even be a parent or a sibling. It just feels like someone who has a closer connection to you. Your heart is the only reason that you would do this, but it's not really something you want to do. On the other hand, maybe this is like a summer job. You know what I mean? It's going to take time. Because over here with Aries, right next to Neptune and all of this creativity, it feels like this is, that's so fair, Christy. Honestly, I've been, every time I tune in to Sagittarius's energy, I just feel how I want to say soft, but it's like your energy has been living in two worlds for most of the year. Your spirit has been so strong that there's this disconnect with your human self, and it makes you vulnerable to this, other people's expectations and plans. But it also makes you feel obligated in a way, because you're like, well, I have been in my own world, so maybe that I need to come back down and do this for them. So in December, while I see themes of that, I think that what's happening over here is the true theme for your month. This is just a reflection of what you already know and are prepared for. I don't feel you're going to be blindsided by this. I think that you've already made that sort of plan, or this person's already told you, like, I really want you to be able to do this for me. But you do feel like it's something you have to do. You don't want to do it. With this it's the four, Emperor reversed. The only other thing before we move on with your money, overall in December, the Emperor reversed is about trying to find a way to please other people without taking it too far. And the 7th house is what makes me think that you've got to balance out your own ideas and expectations with what they want of you. I don't think this is fair. It feels like a commitment that was made that gets taken too far. And for it to be on the guardian, like it's a parent, it's somebody who's at this point at times demanding respect. And there is a turning point here. Remember in the beginning, there's a turning point where they go, oh my God, Sag, remember when this happened earlier this year? They kind of want to talk about it to be able to explain more about their side. But I can't help but feel like you finish this year feeling like you've lost respect for this person. You've lost respect for who they are and what they've done. Yeah, very fair, Christy. I could just see it going off in the corner of my eye, but I was looking out the window. Very fair. Maybe that was literally it. Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything else that Aries, because I'm looking at the Emperor, Sagittarius needs to know about this 7th house? I mean, the whole point of the 7th house is trying to get into that harmonious state, that balance. So you'll have it. You'll be able to leave that situation, that conversation, that, I want to say it's not a confrontation, but you'll be able to leave this connection in 2025 feeling like you're at an understanding. But it changes the way they see you and the way you see them. And yeah, it's about trying to gain a sense of self while also realizing that some people aren't able to give you the same that you expect or that is expected of you. Strong themes of family, parents, even just like managers and people in authority, positions of authority that have that you're dealing with in December, and you trying to leave that situation feeling more balanced, more, what's the word I used before? On the right, like understanding, with more understanding for each other. All right, let's have a look at your money now. Oh, Christy, you've been through it, sweet soul. Sending you so much love and vent. Let it out. You deserve so much. All right, what is happening for finances and career when it comes to Sagittarius in December? We have the Tower card coming out. You're the first, oh no, we had the Tower with one other sign, but it was reversed. We also have the Knight of Swords. What is happening for Sagittarius in December, Spirit? And we have the Queen of Wands. At the back of the deck is the Star card. Might have to pick up the pace because we're already at an hour. I always talk too much in these readings. Terrible. Spirit, what is happening here for Sagittarius's money? Look at that. All on the... Okay. Well, that's at least a positive side to all of this. We have the first house with Mercury and Aquarius, all on the Knight of Swords. I do think when it comes to money, we can't ignore this Tower energy over here. The Tower energy is a strong sign of change, and whatever isn't working, whatever isn't stable, has to change immediately in order for the rest of the month to be more, I want to say stable for lack of a better word, but that's not the right word. With the way that you react to this, you're able to create a plan, but also a way forward very quickly. When it comes to money, it's important that you're aware of who to turn to, what to ask, and what to do in order to get the right information. I want to say that this Tower card is mostly about making sure that your money is solid in 2026. For a Tower card to happen so late in the year, Sag, I think that this is something that would have had red flags before. It's not completely unexpected, but I think it has to do with somebody else. Spirit, what is happening here for Sagittarius? What is this Tower card? Wow, Justice. Yeah, somebody else. Somebody else. How do they know this person, and has it already started to happen? The Lover. Oh, the Tower again. Stop. Not the Tower twice. With the Six of Presents. Yeah, look, this is the chance to really cut ties with someone who wasn't even that stable to begin with. They made false promises. You may have even lended money to them, sweets. Look at this, Six of Presents reverse. This is the Six of Pentacles. You may have given money to them or been expecting to get money from them. I can't help but oh my God, look at me. I need to touch my Amazonite. My mouth is not cooperating. I can't help but feel like this is you feeling like you're being cheated out of something you are owed. And I want to straight up say, look at this, talk to a professional, get your ducks in a row, get it in writing, make sure it's covered if this applies to you. Like I said, this isn't a surprise. Unfortunately, you had a feeling this was going to happen because smaller issues have presented already. And in December, we need to get it out in the obvious, forefront, so that you can start the year on the right page and feeling like this situation isn't going to get the best of you. Cheated out of money, what happened here? Six of Needles. I want to say that this is somebody who may have said that they could help you move forward. They could help you with a solution. They could help you find a way out of something else. They were going to help you get your life on track, or financially this was something that you were hoping was going to help you move forward. But this person was not reliable, trustworthy. They were not in a position to help you. They should have been helping themselves and actually checking themselves. But they may have cared in their heart, made them want to do things, or you may have cared, which is why you signed up for this with them. Nine of Potions reversed. This is a complicated situation. I'm really only skimming the surface, but that's just to help add context on what this is. So take it if it resonates. Don't force it to fit if it's not. This is not a surprise. It's something you knew was kind of going to climax in a dramatic way, and that's how it's happening in December, so that it can spark. The way that it's being shown to me is like a fire, where it's like a naturally occurring situation where there's heat, there's, you know, all the elements are working. You're feeling the pressure, you're feeling the heat before the fire even starts. And then once the fire starts, you go, okay, let's burn this to the ground so that we can start fresh. And that's what's happening over here. We have the first house, a new beginning. You reacting very quickly, you're straight onto it with this Knight of Swords, immediately handling your business, immediately making those phone calls, getting that advice with Mercury, communicating, taking fast action, being flexible, feeling ready, covering your bases. Get it in writing, please. And with the Aquarius energy reversed, you have every intention of what Christy and I were talking about before, of making sure that you are covering yourself and looking after yourself. So Aquarius reversed is a strong feeling of lone wolf. Also, like sometimes, look, it's the same over here. How do I word this, Spirit? I'm having like, I don't want to make it out to be more than it is, because I think that you're going to be all over it. I really think with this card in the middle, with all the dice falling on it, with what we've covered already, whatever that Tower moment brings to your finances, you're going to be all over it. And the lesson is learned in terms of friendships, in terms of learning to really find ways to be more independent and self-reliant. But it's also not a fair situation. So I would encourage you to try to follow that up. You don't deserve to take that. Look at this Justice card reversed. I really think that it's getting out of the way in December so you can start the year strong, because this is Aquarius energy. Aquarius season starts late January to mid-February. So the whole point is to get it done so that the new year starts fresh with a renewed sense of the past is the past. Let's focus on the future. With the Queen of Wands here, you are going to be able to handle this. It's not going to be comfortable, but when it comes to money, it's also not fully your problem. This is somebody else's mistakes that's also affecting you. And I think reading for you, Sag, it confirms that you need to be in your own energy. It confirms that you need to choose your own peace. And it confirms that you do not need to extend your good graces, your opportunity, your energy towards that person, because they're not reliable. Is there anything else going on here with their money, Spirit? Because like it ended up being another kind of relationship reading, and we haven't even gotten to love yet. Is there anything else with their money? Maybe that's the main thing that you needed a clarity on, is this Tower moment more than anything. Once you can work through that, you know, then we can talk about other things. But I think a Tower moment is very consuming mentally, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. So once you can work through that, you'll be fine. Let's close your reading, Sag, by having a look at your love life. Prepare yourselves. Spirit, what is happening for Sagittarius when it comes to love in December? Okay. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. Oh my god, Tower cards coming out again. Spirit, what is it? What is it? Knight of Wands, that's definitely you. And then we have the Five of Swords. It's very much the same as what we've been covering, so I'm not gonna like repeat myself because we are feeling triggered out here. But with the Four of Swords at the back of the deck, the one thing I can say is that you end this year feeling a lot more at peace. And I know that that's hard to imagine now, but when it comes to love especially, the whole point of December is to put you in a state of rest, to ensure that you aren't overdoing it, to ensure that you're not worrying too much about things you can't control. Whether you're single, in a relationship, in a situationship, December for you, Sagittarius, is about getting the rest you need in love and not feeling like you need to do anything you don't want to do, as well as not feeling like you need to race against time to find the love of your life. December is about uncomplicating your love life. So let's get some clarity with the dice. Wow. We have Neptune reversed again. We have the 8th house down here. And we also have Gemini down here. Let me have a quick sip of my tea. So when it comes to, where do I want to start actually? We might start down here. Let's address the elephant in the room. So the Tower came out again. It's connected to your money. It's connected to that situation we were talking about. If you're separating from someone, divorcing, trying to untangle your life from them, that is a big part of your love life still in December. But it's an obvious part of your love life, something you will be aware of. You can't hide a Tower moment. It affects every aspect of your life, which is why it would have come out again. Now, aside from separating from someone, the Tower moment in your love life feels very connected to your independence. We're seeing you show up here as the Knight of Wands. The whole point it's here again in your love life is to highlight this strong desire for independence, to feel like you have the flexibility you need, and to also feel like whoever is in your life, if you have somebody that you're interested in, to feel like they're actually understanding you and on the same page as you. And if they're not, then that's going to be made very obvious in December, and they're going to have to accept you as you are, vice versa. The 8th house here is saying this isn't the first time this has happened, but this is the time that it can end, because the 8th house isn't giving second chances. The 8th house is strongly encouraging this cycle to end. It has to break. It has to change. It has to end. At this point, I would argue that there's no going back. It is time to really step back into your nature and to feel like you're around people who see you for who you are, who treat you the way that you deserve. Because I think what I was noticing earlier in the year as well is like people just weren't able to resonate with your nature, and they weren't able to understand why you were doing the things that you were doing. When it comes to love over here with the Gemini energy, it does look like you're having to pick and choose how you convey this feeling to people. Do you want to tell them? Do you not? Do actions speak louder than words? Is a conversation even worth it? Do we need to bring up the past? I think somebody is reaching out to you at some point in December, whether you're single, in a relationship, situationship, etc., for all of you Sagittarius, in December, there's someone reaching out to you and it feels like they need closure because we have Palo Santo here. But you have to decide, do I want to give them that? Do I want to open that can of worms? Is it better to just ignore that message? When it comes to your energy, your spirit is leading you. And like I said in the beginning, your body, your human being is trying to figure out how to catch up. And that includes your feelings. That includes your thoughts. That includes, I think that there may be times where your spirit is so ready to move forward that your body is going to be extra tired. Like, come on, let me rest, please. Why are you giving me all of these wonderful ideas and these beautiful passions at a time when I'm tired and I just need sleep? And a similar thing is happening in your love life. Queen of Cups reversed came out first, so it's very similar to what we've been talking about. You're trying to find time to recalibrate. When it comes to love, you're protecting yourself more than anything. You don't want to give too much. Even if you're in a relationship, you're feeling like you need to protect yourself because you're at times easily influenced by them in a way that doesn't feel true to how you feel. You're picking up on what they're feeling and you're kind of going with that and then saying to yourself, well, actually, no, I don't feel that way. I don't want that for myself. So starting this month feeling very sensitive is about making sure that you navigate those big changes by focusing on your independence and your creative freedom, because I feel like you're planning to create more this month. There's a strong connection here to your creativity, your inner child, your imagination. And when it comes to love, you don't want to bend to other people's will. So with the Five of Swords, right before we get to that Four of Swords, which is peace, rest, the Five of Swords is a strong feeling of, okay, let's make sure that we're standing up for ourselves, we're putting ourselves first, and we're not letting other people take from us. I think that with your love life, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to tell people what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And ultimately, the Five of Swords is a reminder that you can't make everybody happy. So at the very least, you have to put yourself first. The Five of Swords is also a reminder that walking away is sometimes the best point of call, because having a conversation can open another can of worms. So if people are having strong opinions about your love life, you're choosing to do what you want at the expense of how somebody else feels. Whether that's your love interest or a family member. They don't want you to do this again, but you feel like it's what you need to do in order to be at peace with yourself. And you're letting your spirit guide you through this. That is what I'm seeing for you, Sag. I'm going to end your reading there. Look after yourself, please. Look after yourself. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself and make sure that this year finishes in this energy. In that, I hope that you have that peace that you deserve. Let me say my little spiel to bless you before you go. As we part ways, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Let's have a look now at Leo. All right. Spirit, what can Leo expect in the month of December? Spirit, what can Leo expect in the month of December? Okay, Leo, we have Milk Thistle coming out for you, the number 23, Peaceful Warrior with Mars and the Moon as well. We have been seeing some of that energy, but it's very different for you, so I'm kind of glad, Leo, not gonna lie. We also have Mandrake, Sensuality, the number 45, Neptune and Venus. At the back of the deck is Damiana, the Beloved. Wow, I didn't expect to see this come out. On the Damiana card, we have Venus and Pluto. Let me just have a quick sip of my drink. Okay. How do I feel about this? All right. I kind of think with the 11 reversed, this month is about finding the right way to compromise. Very similar to the other two fire signs. Relationships are coming through strongly. It is the season, you know, December is a month where we spend a lot of time usually around people that we love. So even if you're limiting contact with family and loved ones, you're still having to find a way to have those boundaries. With Pluto and Venus here, you have to find ways to advocate for self and put self first healthily. I can see a conversation resulting in you both being at odds. At this stage, it feels like a family member, you being at odds with a family member and, you know, just respecting each other's base and differences if that's possible. But ultimately realizing like you both want different things, so you have to give each other space. This person could be older than you. There could be an age gap with the crow here of at least 5 years. And I can see with the Mandrake card, similar themes of Venus here. Venus encouraging you to focus on self and to self-preserve. Leo, you're at high risk of trying to take on too much, even though you're telling yourself you won't. Don't underestimate how much rest you need in the month of December, because I think you'll be surprised at either how burnt out you are or at how easily triggered you are in December. People are getting on your nerves. And with sensuality reversed, we ultimately have to address our physical needs, but we also have to make sure that we feel safe. And it makes me think that your nervous system needs a bit more attention. You might be just feeling overstimulated by everything, right? Shopping centers and grocery stores look crazy this time of year. So it could be something like that. And just as the month goes on, all of it is just too much. So it may be helpful to find ways to regularly disconnect, ground, and recharge, so that you're not letting all of those things get under your skin and really irritate you and oversensitize you, right? To the point where you're overstimulated. With the milk thistle energy over here, we're looking at a peaceful warrior as your primary energy in the month of December. And I do love this for you, Leo. I think that this is you, again, making small sort of plans in the month and just letting those plans direct you. Don't take on too much. Don't commit to too much. Don't forget to ask for help. Collaborate with helpful people. Get inspired, but don't take on too much. Anyway, let's see what Tarot has to say about this. I want to get more specific because I'm not getting enough specific stuff from that. I want to move to the Nightmare of Christmas card for you. Nightmare Before Christmas, my bad. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Nightmare of Christmas, what? All right, let's see. Spirit, when it comes to December, what can Leo expect? Oh, here we go. All right. We have the 5 of Needles reversed. So 5 of Swords reversed. Oh, crazy. My dog's vet appointment just popped up on my phone and it's covering most of the screen, so that's not helpful, but I can still see on my laptop over here, so that's good. We have the Knight of Presents reversed, so Knight of Pentacles reversed. What else has happened my days? Nah, we're going to reshuffle that. It's chaos down here. What else is going on for Leo in December? Yeah. We have the Five of Potions. I think you may need to be very careful about getting caught up in other people's busyness. It's the season. It's hard. But for you, Leo, you're already starting the month feeling extra sensitive. And I think that if plans change, if people try to, you know, on the fly, be adaptable and flexible, your fixed energy is like, no, I'm putting my foot down. No, this is too much. Like, what? Figure yourself out and then get back to me and I'll let you know if I'm available. And it's really like, it's really bothering you. And I hope that you have the right people around you to recognize, like, geez, we need to check on Leo. We need to go and make sure Leo's okay, because what was that? What's going on? Instead of going to war with you and taking it personally, this is a time of the year where you are taking things personally. And with the Seven of Presents reversed, the whole point of all of this is to help you shed, and also because we have Pluto here, so I can't help but feel like there are things that you need to release. There's heavy emotions, there's frustrations, there's tension in certain relationships where you haven't had that tension released yet. Make sure you get it out of the way. Make sure you find a way to address it so that it doesn't create further friction, especially with this Seven of Presents here reversed. The whole point of that card is to pull out what isn't working from us, like a weed in our life, whether it's an action, a behavior, a thought, a practice, a habit, or in some cases, a person. Pull it out of the ground. It's a weed in our garden. It's not fruitful. It's not working for us. It's not providing for us. It's not worth our energy. It's not worth our time. It's not worth our effort. Seven of Pentacles reversed. Ask yourself, is this worthy of my time and effort? Before you agree to do it, before you are generous with your Leo energy and your loyalty, ask yourself, is this person being reasonable? Is this situation requiring too much of me? And with the Five of Needles here reversed, it just feels like all these little things add up very quickly. One compromise there leads to your whole day getting turned on its head. You conceding to what they want all of a sudden changes your whole week. And so with the Five of Needles reversed, it does feel like somebody else is winning here. It's like you're being helpful to them. You're extending your support, even though you wanted to do something different, even though your plans were different, even though you decided you were going to do things differently. And because I'm reading for Leo, obviously your beautiful big heart is at the core of this. You did it because you thought it was the right thing to do. Look at you showing up in the reverse position, but it's not in your best interest. Third house reversed. You might be trying to do this to bring everybody together. Are you playing peacemaker? Are you trying to bring everybody together, trying to put your own wants and needs to the side to make it easier for the group? Trying to do the right thing because that's what... Because it almost feels like you start this... Let me just give you an example and I'll let you figure out how this specifically applies to your situation. You start December in some sort of group chat or in some sort of communication with at least 2 other people. It could be bigger than that. And everybody wants to do different things, including yourself. And so you say, okay, look, how about we all go there? instead. It's not what you want to do, but you're trying to find a solution. You're trying to be that peaceful warrior, trying to find a plan and a solution and trying to fix this for the sake of bringing people together with the moon energy. And I think that it starts to work, but I think it's not actually what you want. And so that builds until you end December feeling disappointed. That's what this Five of Potions is. It's the Five of Cups, disappointment. I kind of wish it didn't go this way. I actually wish that I just stopped it in the beginning and pulled it out of the ground before it turned into this huge vine that's now overtaking all my plans. Coming back to the weed analogy over here with the Seven of Presents. So that simple, again, heart's in the right place, trying to do the right thing while also taking charge because nobody's compromising. And then with the Knight of Presents reversed and the Mars energy reversed, this creates this feeling of, I want to say, resentment. Like, it builds really quickly into tension, into, well, I'm not planning this. You know what I mean? I didn't expect to have to do all of this. I thought this was a group thing, the third house. I thought we were going to plan this as a community. Where's the communication? Where's the initiative? Where's the planning? So I want to say that in December, with the Knight of Presents reversed, it's really important that, how do I word this? Because I can't tell if it's you that are taking too much on or if it's somebody else that you're relying on and they're taking too much on, and then it blows up in their face and you're like, shit, like, I don't really want to take this on now. Just be wary of these things because there's going to be warning signs. I don't think this is coming together very well. Hi, sweet souls, welcome. I'm so sorry I haven't looked at the chat. I'm doing terrible today, but welcome. It is so lovely to have you all here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here for the Leos. I think it's in your best interest to have a backup plan. Can we just say that? Can we say have a backup plan? Because this holiday season, this December month, you are a lot more sensitive than you realize. Little things are going to get under your skin. People aren't communicating well, and yet they're expecting stuff to happen without very much communication. There's a sense of dysfunction within a group that you're a part of who is trying to organize something in December. It could be for the holidays specifically, and it doesn't go according to plan because someone did not put enough planning into it. It's going to affect you more than you would like because your heart is in this. Your heart really wanted this to work. And because that person couldn't put a little bit more effort in, a little bit more foresight into the situation, your heart ends up feeling very disappointed. And your beautiful big heart, Leo, is learning once again to be careful about how much you expect from others and how much you care in these situations. And you've once again taken it personally because you were personally invested. So that's how this is showing up. But let's clarify, is there anything else here that you can double check for Leo in December? Maybe it's even a child of yours if you're old enough to have children who have left the house. They might be struggling to execute their plan of coming home for Christmas, for example. Nine of Pentacles. Or they may need money. Goodness. Yeah, look, I think you're going to have some people asking you for money over the holiday period. You're showing up as, sweet soul, you have your ducks in a row, for lack of a better word. You've got it together. The end of this year should be about celebrating. So who is this taking over your reading and ruining your mood? Who is this? Is it a sibling? Is it a child? Or is it a friend? Oh, Seven of Pentacles again. It's someone who's shown you multiple times that they just can't get their shit together. Sorry to swear. They can't get it together. And in December, it feels like the straw that breaks the camel's back. You need to not take too much responsibility for them. Let them figure it out. Let them find a way. They're in your community. They're somebody who's either a family member, a child, for example, or a parent. They're very close to, like, you want them there. That's why. But they don't get their stuff together in time. And you helping doesn't actually break the cycle. So in December, you've got to recognize that you're, in some ways, resigning yourself to a pattern that you are way beyond. You've outgrown that pattern. You've lived it, you've overcome it, and now you're on the other side of it. You've gone from the person who was this to the person who's trying to bail out that person. And in December, you have to go, wow, I'm kind of enabling them. They need to figure this out. Goodness, that's an interesting main theme, sweet souls. You as a whole, Leo, I love how this year is going to end for you. You have a lot to celebrate. You have a lot of people around you who are worth enjoying. And you have time to be alone as well, which is what you really need to be able to process this dynamic. This is just what's come through as the main thing that I can inform you of, but it's not everything. You've got so much more to look forward to in December. This is just to help you be aware of something that could negatively impact your mood, but it shouldn't take away from your celebration, from you being able to enjoy the end of this year and to be able to see everything that you've overcome and achieved, etc., etc. All those beautiful feelings of finishing the year on the right tone. Does that make sense? With the Nine of Pentacles and all of this Venus reversed energy, ultimately you are supposed to find a way to prioritize yourself more than the people around you who you care so much for and who know that, and they kind of take advantage of that. So let's have a look at your finances. We have the King of Presents reversed, so King of Pentacles reversed. We also have the Knight of Presents reversed, Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Needles, and the Hanged Man. Wow, lots of cards for your finances. At the back of the deck is the Moon. Okay, let's shuffle some cards. Let's shake some dice. Spirit, what else can Leo expect when it comes to their money in December? Okay, so we have the second house reversed. Yeah, taking some time off. Flexibility in your routine is essential. Like I said in the beginning, I think you guys are going to realize that you're a lot more burnt out or overstimulated than you thought you were. You may want to work through it and try to, make more money naturally, but I think that you need to recognize that your body is tired and taking care of yourself is a priority. So a reprioritization here, a change in routine, and having to be flexible to listen to what your body needs. So this may mean that, you miss a couple days work, but you have to prioritize your health here. And that's just a heads up. You could even get ahead of that and just start now. Make sure that you don't push yourself too far so that you don't miss out on work if it's really important that you have that income, for example. But a change is going to happen if you don't recognize the warning signs early. Now with the Aquarius energy down here, there is a strong feeling of trying to be more... See, it's hard because I see people really appealing to your heart. I see you kind of wanting to be more generous naturally, it's that time of the year, but I actually think Aquarius energy is here to say, hey, please focus on yourself, but instead it's your humanity that's really coming into play in December. Your humanity, your big heart, the Knight of Presents reverse, the peaceful warrior, like you're trying to do the right thing in December. And so the way that you're spending your money, you're trying to do the right thing for your community, for, you know, your values. You're trying to do the right thing and your intentions are good, but it seems to be at your own expense. With the Knight of Presents reversed, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, it's like a last minute impulsive choice to spend more money on something that aligns with your values, your heart space, doing the right thing, but it actually could end up putting you out. So just be careful of that, please. And with Mars reversed down here, on top of the Four of Needles, I just can't help but feel like you're going to have to find a way to push back on people who, again, don't have their ducks in a row. They're not accountable, they're not responsible. And so they come to Leo to bail them out, to help them. Their connection to you, their relationship to you is something that they intentionally use for their advantage. They know that because you're their mum, for example, because you're their only sister, whatever it is, they know that you have a hard time saying no. So when it comes to your money, with Mars reversed and the Four of Needles, just give it some time. Maybe they can figure something else out instead of you jumping to give them what they need. Maybe they can ask somebody else. Ask them, you know, just give me some time. I had to take some time off work because I'm so burnt out. I don't have a lot of money this week. Can you ask somebody else and then come back to me? With that being said, let's bring it back to you financially. We looked at something that was happening here, a change in routine because your body needs rest and you're overstimulated in this month. Your nerves are fried and people get under your skin too easily. With the moon energy at the back here, your mental health needs to be a priority above everything else. This time of the year naturally brings out feelings that can be heavier, that can be more complicated than we realize. And your heart is really trying to soothe those feelings by giving more than you should. That's not going to help you feel better. If anything, it's going to kind of create more problems for you to have to figure out in January. So with the moon and the Hanged Man over here, I would encourage you, Leo, when it comes to money, give yourself time to ride that wave of emotion. Your heart is compelled to do things that are very generous, very giving, but it's not the best choice for you, and your empathy is so prominent here. We're trying to ask about your money, and the main energy I'm getting is like empathy, deep feelings, conflicted feelings, but also temporary feelings. The moon moves in cycles. It's a reminder that we don't always control our feelings, but we can be aware of them so that they don't control us. Something that bothers us today may not be as bothersome tomorrow. If we give it time, if we ride that wave of emotion, we might be able to get on top of it and realize, okay, I don't have to worry about that as much. So that's what I would encourage you to do with your money. The only two cards that actually talk about money are over here and they're reversed. The King of Presents and the Knight of Presents, both pentacles reversed. So when it comes to money, it's very likely that you're going to mismanage or misjudge how much to spend, how much to earn. Some of it is in your control, some of it is not, like your body needing a break. Give yourself grace for that. Your health is paramount. But you will need to manage other people's expectations of you because of that. Don't take it personally. If you were my loved one and you couldn't work over the Christmas period, I would be dropping off food. I would be, helping you out around the house. not to make anybody feel bad, but it goes both ways, Leo. The amount that you care, it goes both ways. And I think with the King of Presents reversed, the Knight of Presents reversed, like, that's not a goes both ways situation. That's a feeling of, I can't take care of the people that are relying on me. So the best thing you can do is be honest, realistic, authentic, genuine, and clear. All those Aquarius energies of being direct, authentic. When you speak from the heart, everybody listens. Everybody knows that Leo is telling us the truth right now. Look at them. So look after yourself, please. You can get ahead of it now so that you don't let that fatigue really hit you. And make sure that you have people who can look after you as much as you're expecting to look after others and be there for others. That was your money. Let's have a look now at your relationships, your love life. It's surreal that you're my last sign. I don't think I've finished on Leo before. I think I've always done Leo like in the middle or something. Feels very like beautiful to finish in your energy. I hope that makes sense. You're like, I want to give you a lot of compassion and sort of like a warm space to be able to receive these messages. So I think that we had to finish with you. I think starting this was always going to be busy because we had to kind of get into the momentum. And in the middle, all of those energies tend to get really crazy. So it's good to finish with this message. I hope you feel the same way. I hope you can feel like, okay, I've got this. I know where I'm headed and I can be prepared so that I'm looking after myself. Speaking of looking after yourself, what is happening in love for Leo in the month of December? Wow, that was quick. The Lovers card reversed. Wow. What is happening in love for Leo? We also have the Ace of Potions. I must have some of my tea on my fingers because these cards are getting like little droplets of liquid. How did that happen? While I take another sip. So Queen of Presents. Oh, this is claws. Ace of Potions and the Lovers card reversed with the Three of Needles reversed. So I'll read for all of you and then I'll kind of break down how I see this happening depending on if you're single, in a relationship, situationship, etc. What is happening here for Leo spirit when it comes to love? Up here we have the 5th house reversed. We also have Sagittarius reversed and Mercury upright. Oh. Okay, I don't really see you dating much in December. 5th house reverse, Ace of Potions reverse, the Lovers card reverse, but the Queen of Presents is upright. I would argue that you're not wanting to play games. December isn't the month to play games. Now, someone may be in your DMs if you're single, or even if you're in a relationship, maybe they are messaging you and approaching you. But I want to say that you're being very guarded. You're not trying to like feed into, again, games with the 5th house reversed. I don't want to play games. I don't want to entertain something that's not worth my time. You're showing up as a high value person, someone who's really standing on their values, who's standing on their what they're looking for, what they want in their future. I think that this time of the year has you wanting more family time more than anything, or just wanting, you're in a wholesome energy. That's the best way I would describe it. Like, you're in a wholesome energy. So, don't show up trying to sabotage that wholesome energy. That's what this feels like. That's your energy towards love interests or whoever's messaging you over here with this Mercury energy. I do think that you have people that either know you from social media or they're friends of your friends, they're acquaintances who are interested. But I don't think that you're making it easy for them to approach you. You're making it very clear that they have to go through this and that and that. They have to tick that criteria off, and then they have to show you over time. So you're coming across as someone whose trust and respect is earned. Whether you're single, in a relationship, etc., anything in between, this is coming from experience. The Three of Needles. In December, you're remembering how other people broke your heart. You're remembering when you had to break their hearts. And you're using those past experiences to really make sure that you're not repeating yourself. You don't want to repeat these conversations. You don't want to feel like you're revisiting issues and conversations you've already had. To me, the threes always represent expansion or creation. The Three of Needles, in order to create, in order to expand, in order to feel like our life is progressing, we have to have a difficult conversation with somebody about our future and about how we both want different things. And that's why it usually leads in heartbreak, because if that person can't come with us on our journey, we've got to leave them behind. And in some cases, this person said that to you, Leo, and you felt left behind. And so I think in December, you're remembering those kinds of conversations, and you're making it very hard for people to be a part of your future, because they have to show straight up that they are ready. You don't want to go through that again. You don't want to imagine a future with someone and then realize, geez, we both want very different things. We're not at all on the same page. And so if you're single, you're really like, block, get away from me, no. You are exactly like my ex, ugh. And if you're in a relationship, it feels like you're standing firm on a conversation you've already had, and you're saying, you've got to figure that out before the new year. Are you coming forward with me, your Queen of Presents, or am I finding a new king? That's what this feels like. So with the Lovers card reversed, there's energy here of like an ultimatum of, again, criteria. This is what I want. What do you want? And of like really trying to make sure that you're being clear about what you want, because you don't want to be surprised later on. Now, whether this conversation happens at the start of the month or not, in the early days of December, you're going to know this about yourself. You're going to be having internal conversations with yourself and going, okay, it's quite obvious to me at this point that I'm at this stage of my life and I really want this. So how do I find a way to communicate that? You're going to know, even if whoever you're dealing with doesn't know yet, because eventually they'll find out. You're finding the right place and time to tell them. With the Sagittarius card dice, reversed, I don't think you're afraid of being alone. You're afraid of somebody taking advantage of your loyalty, or you're afraid of trusting, because the energy that I'm getting here is the loyalty that Sagittarius has, that really sort of free, unconditional love, where Sagittarius, when they love you, they'll hold you down while also letting you do whatever you want. And you're afraid of that happening. With that being said, you might also be at a stage where you want that for yourself. You want to feel like you can hold yourself down, and like you don't have to rely on other people or worry about, what they're doing. And you don't want them to micromanage you. You can handle yourself just fine. Is there anything else I need to tell Leo about this energy here in their love life in December? Just with the Ace of Potions, I didn't address it sooner. Pouring love into self. So there's a strong feeling of self, of showing up for self, of making sure when it comes to love, especially with what's going on in your platonic connections, at least when it comes to romance, you are finding a way to have those healthy boundaries, those important sort of values, and setting yourself up for success in the future, even if it means you have to be firm and revisit those past conversations to remind yourself of why this is important to you. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Leo. That ends our December predictions. Thank you so much, sweet souls, for tuning in, whether you're watching live or after the fact. As we part ways, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Look after yourselves, and I will see you, hopefully, in our January predictions. Bye.